Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with David Ryan. He's 6-0 and he's the current super lightweight Bui Celtic champion. As he beat Tony McGlynn 78-75, and yes, and the new indeed it was, mate. Yeah. Well, yeah. Pleasure getting you on before we get straight into it.
Thanks for having me on, mate. Sorry I
Any
was late getting back to you.
No bother, mate. Yeah, so talk about your most recent fight you had with Tony McGlynn at the warehouse at the Red Cow in Dublin, where you become
Yeah, it was a good
champion.
fight. It was a very good fight. A lot of people, I think, wrote me off going into the fight, coming from a kickboxing background and not having an elite amateur background like himself, which I knew it didn't really matter because I knew he wouldn't have had a gas tank like me or the work rate, and that's exactly how it went. He didn't have the gas tank or the work rate, and I beat him. I actually think I beat him 7 rounds to 1, only for the.
It was only the round, you got knocked down in that you
That's all.
lost.
That's all he won on the actual scorecard. So it was an
It was,
absolute.
and plus, even in that round, you were doing well. It's just a bit of lack. I would say a moment where you just switched off for a second and you
That's
you got
all.
you got
We.
tagged.
That's it. And I'm kind of glad I got tagged because once I went down, I got up. Took my knee for a second. I goes, okay, now let's fucking fight.
Yeah, because
I was
you
I
got
was
up
delighted with
because
that.
do you feel like you did you feel like you was in control and you were, doing well? So yeah, do you feel like that taught you not to switch off and you were alert when you got back up, for those shots?
Yeah, 100%. No, there was a few times when I was sparring, I was doing great, and then I'd be kind of lose a bit of concentration and I'd be getting pinged in sparring and I'd be getting killed by Sean and the lads. You're like, oh, come on, focus more. It's just a small bit of, I don't know, getting bored, kind of, that kind of way. But I'm glad it happened when it did happen because it really woke me up.
What was going through your thoughts? Because you weren't from a fan's point of view. I mean, it's different, you as a fighter being in there. But from a fan's point of view, it seemed a bit of a quick flash knockdown. Were you hurt with that shot, or do you feel like it was just a good timed shot that put you down?
If you actually look back at the video, I was switching stance. I switch a lot. I think I was off balance more than anything, and I wasn't hurt. I was not hurt, but it was something new to me. I've never been dropped. So I was kind of like, we got to work. Let's put it on him. Let's up everything. Let's see what he can do back with
Because
it.
you knew it was, it's 10-8 round, and then
Yes.
you still came out and you came, on strong in that third. Was it a matter of, getting back to what you was doing before that knockdown happened, or were you trying to, yeah, was there any nerves, when you got back up thinking, were you overthinking things, when you got back up, or
No, I wasn't overthinking things. There was a time where just after the knockdown, I got up. He threw a couple of shots, and they kind of missed me. I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm well cleared now. My head is free. I don't have to worry about anything. Then I was on the ropes, and he threw another few shots, and there was just nothing in them. I was like, okay, I'm fine. It was just kind of, it was fine. I wasn't nervous. It was actually the first fight going into. I was cool as a breeze and I wasn't nervous. I didn't care what he had to offer. I knew what I could do. I would outwork him. I knew I've seen him spar in the gym a couple of times and I wasn't too pushed about him. I actually had the message from my manager sending me it. Tony McGlynn, 10th of May, Celtic title. I was like, the only thing I text back was, I'm game, I'm free. I wasn't too worried about him. I knew I'd beat him. I knew I'd get the belt.
it was on
He is,
his home show, wasn't it? Ian said.
pardon?
Am I right in saying that it was on Tony's sort of home show?
Yeah, it was his homecoming. You know, uh,
And you spoiled the party, mate.
yeah, yeah. Someone had to spoil it.
Yes, indeed, mate. Yeah, and as you was going through the fight, talk us through the sort of round three, four, five, six, 7, and 8.
So like the best of my work comes when I'm under pressure. That that knockdown put me under pressure where I knew I had to step things up. Now my corner were telling me, okay, you're behind this round, you're behind this round. Let's up everything. The lads know what way I train and how much of a dog I am in training and my work rate. I don't think there's many people that'll have just as good cardio as me. So like my cardio is always through the roof. So I knew that was going to be on my side, then Tony's side. Going into the fight, there was a bit of, I don't know how he got away with it, but he did. He never had a 6 round fight going into the fight. So I don't know how he was actually allowed to have it.
Yeah, because
Because
you
I
were
know,
going off 3 6 rounders in a row, wasn't you?
yeah, so he only had four rounders. And as far as I know,
You
you
need
don't
to
have
have
a
a
six.
6 to qualify for the belt.
Yeah. So I couldn't qualify for the Irish because I never had an 8 rounder, but he could qualify for the Celtic, but he never had a 6 round. So there was a bit of confusion. I was kind of like, yeah, look, it's fine. He's never had a 6 round. I've had 3 of them.
Is
I'm
that what you feel like? Do you feel like did you know that the pace was going to get to him, the back end of the fight as he's never done, the 6? Did you think
yeah,
that's when you would come on strong?
100%. I was actually hoping to stop him in the later rounds, like 6, 7, and 8.
Because he
Stop him.
was tiring, wasn't
He
he?
was. Uh, and every time he got close to me, he just grabbed and hold it,
He
and
was
I was
trying to
kind of like,
smother your work, wasn't he?
yeah, I was kind of like, well, feck's sake. And I couldn't complain too much to the referee because there were one or two things he pulled me on, and I was kind of like, what am I getting pulled here for? So I just left it go. But it was just one of those things. I'm happy I won. I won fairly comfortable, but it
Yeah, I
was
mean, talk about that, of course, when the final bell rung, how confident that you would get the decision, because we'll get to what happened with the decision in a minute. But yeah, how confident were you that you would get the win?
yeah, like I knew I won the first round. Okay, then the second round, I lost obviously. So
Did you feel like it was wide though, or do you think did you and your team think they would have had it a bit closer? As we've seen some uh dodgy decisions
yeah,
in boxing quite recently.
so like when you're boxing, you know what's landing and what isn't landing. Obviously yourself because you're throwing the shots, and
Yeah, yeah.
I was kind of glad the referee was judging it because he was the closest to us. Uh, I was fairly confident I won the fight. And then even after it, what happened? There was another guy I was meant to fight. He was like, "Oh, you can have another fight. You be eligible for it." I was like, "I won this fight," but everything happened. But I was 100% confident I won. Then all the what happened happened. But before the fight happened, like even my partner was like, "Oh, look, we're going to Dublin. He's home show. I hope we don't get screwed over here." Now, luckily we weren't, but we could have.
I mean, you was nearly, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
I mean,
know.
they read it. I mean, the thing is, you have the no offense to the ring announcer, but you have the paper in your hand and
Yeah,
it clearly says who the winner is. You just need to read the word and the number. So it's a bit they announced it 78-73 to him, but they lifted your arm. So were you a bit confused in that moment?
yeah, because I said because the referee was the judge, and I was like, why the fuck do you raise my hands? He was like, no, no, you won. So from there, and like I was kind of like, wait, what's going on here? By the time we had looked,
So at that moment, were you upset? Were you confused or
I was kind of I was confused, but I was kind of like, because you see on some shows this it does happen, but like it doesn't get resolved there and then. It did happen in Australia the same night.
yeah?
Yeah, so it does happen, and it does happen on big stages and small stages. But I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? When I said it to the referee, I was like, why'd you raise my hands? He was like, no, no, you won. That's a mistake. But then the time all this was said, Tony had the belt and was gone.
And
Like
he was
got the belt,
celebrating with his friends, his family.
but literally got the belt and took off out of the ring. So we were kind of like, hold on a second. Now I am very lucky to have the team I had because they made such a big deal about this. It wasn't our mistake. It wasn't Tony's mistake. It was the
It's,
ring announcer's mistake.
yeah, so explain what sort of went on because like he goes off to his changing room with the belt, you go back empty-handed, of course, your fam yeah, sort of thing. So what was what sort yeah, explain sort of what went on in those couple of minutes, after you get back to the changing rooms and stuff?
It was madness. We were actually in the ring, and the promoter of it was like, "Look, we'll solve it now." Whoever was your man Michael Collins actually was there for the BUI that night as the governor and all that kind of stuff, and he was like, "No, no, you've won. We're going to solve this now." In fairness, Jay, the promoter of the show, actually went up to Tony's change room and took the belt off him. Now, I refused to get out of the ring until I was presented the belt because I wanted to have the belt in the ring with my
You wanted
fans
that
that
moment.
travel. Yeah, which I wanted my fans to have that moment with me, my family, my friends, everyone.
I understand that, yeah.
And then I had the doctors wanting me out of the ring to stitch me because my eye was fairly bad.
Yeah. Because you got a cut.
Yeah,
Was it a head clash that
I
then?
got, yeah, and it happened very early in the first round. So
Was that the first
it
time you've been cut as a pro or?
no, I've been caught numerous times, numerous, too many times. But the doctors wanted me out of the ring, and I was like, "Look, once I was given the belt, I'll get out of the ring." And then they were like, "Look, we'll get you the belt. Give us 2 minutes." And then I was like, "Fine, I'll go with the doctors now." So just before I met the doctors, I was presented the belt, but it still had ruined the whole night of having the belt with everyone, my family, my friends.
Yeah, because you wanted that. It's sort of, it's good, but it's sort of you wanted that moment,
Yeah,
where you didn't. There was no need for that confusion,
yeah.
sort of thing.
Especially at a high standard of it, the main event of a show, especially, it's the last thing you need. It's just like it kind of put a bitter taste on it. You won, but all these pictures and all this
Well,
was
so
kind of
all of
ruined.
the people, people were leaving the venue thinking that, oh, he's won, and then they look on their, phone when they get back and realize, oh, that wasn't actually the result. So
Yeah. So like for instance, that night I actually left it after all the wherever we got the belt, we got presented with it, got stitched up. I went on my phone, I had no service, so I couldn't even tell people. So then about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone came back on. I had full service. Then all the messages were coming in, and then I had to actually tell everyone what actually happened. So like it kind
So
of,
it was so you were getting all these messages, saying you've won the fight, head up, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. We're like, I'm kind of like, fake. Everyone thinks I lost, but I knew I won, and everything was fixed. But like, no one had seen that because the live feed had cut off at that stage.
Yeah.
Look,
The main thing is, at the end of the day, you've got that belt now, which is the main thing, I guess.
yeah, 100%.
And talk about the feeling. Of course, you've got the win. Sort of, it did get taken away from you in the ring, sort of thing. But once they gave you the belt, I thought no, but yeah, when they gave you the belt, how did you feel? You done it, sort of thing.
I,
Yeah,
I was,
how
I
did
was,
you feel
I,
in the moment?
I was delighted because going into the fight, everyone was classing me as a kickboxer who's got a just
Yeah,
kickboxer
because
this,
people,
kickboxer.
there's been a few boxers who come into the sport, with a kickboxing background that I spoke to before, and they get written off, when they go for these belts, and
Yeah,
they say, oh, these kickboxers, but you know, and you prove the doubters wrong, which is always good.
yeah. Like even like a couple of weeks before the show, we had like a face off, and he's like, "Oh, my amateur background is way better than whatever this," and
Do you
he's
think
like,
they
"I'm
was?
gonna,
Do you think Tony's team and himself were looking over you, or
oh,
I mean,
big
looking
time,
past you?
a bit way past me," and I know. I hope they keep looking past me because I'm gonna take every lad they have down with them.
Good attitude, mate. Yeah. Now you've won, the BUI. You're gonna have people, wanting to fight, and you're gonna be a bit of a wanted man,
Good.
sort of thing. There's gonna be lots of names, getting chucked in the hat, wanting to fight you for the BUI. Or does this make you available for the Irish? Or
Yes, so I'm next to fight for the Irish. I'm meant to be fighting Senna Kelly for it. We're just looking at a time and date and all that first. and hopefully it's on a neutral show and not like the same show it was on the last time.
Do they promote Kelly as well?
Yes, they do.
That the venue you fought at sort of like the Irish bit of sort of your cool, isn't it?
A small bit, yeah, yeah. It's a bit different, but it's good. It's nice to have it. It's nice to be active and have plenty of shows coming up.
What do you feel like yeah, I was gonna say what's the best venue that you've boxed in? I mean you've boxed in uh quite a few. What do you feel like's been the best place you've boxed at like currently?
The best place I've boxed at was my debut in Belfast, Mark Dunlop show. It was the Gerwood. It was a lovely little venue. It was done right. TG Carr actually covered it that night, so it was perfect for like everyone that couldn't make it. It was live on TV, you know. It's been a good few. Like most places I've fought have been great little venues, so it's perfect to build my name on.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, of course, now you've got that belt, you're gonna be wanting, you know, the Irish, the Celtic, and there's gonna be massive opportunities out there for you.
Yeah, 100%. I'm hoping they come because I read an interview or I was listening to an interview last week, and it was like, oh, for Senna Kelly, if this guy doesn't work for him or Dave doesn't work for him, we'll set him up for WBA interim or whatever. I was like, why don't you set me up for him with this, you know, instead of having an Irish, or let's put the Irish on it and the other belts. But I think it's just all talk.
So do you
I'm
not think they'll take the fight or
I'm hoping to take the fight. We've sparred together. He's a good lad. I'm a good lad. You know, we're both willing to work. We both want to fight, so why not?
is that the fight ideally is what's next for you? Or if that fight doesn't happen, maybe, you know, target. Is there any like opponents that you're really keeping an eye out, whether that's on like TV level or sort of any Irish domestic fights you're targeting, or is that Kelly one the one that you really want at the minute?
Kelly be the Irish domestic next to happen. Anyone on the TV time, kind of. There's a couple of names
Hatton,
like I think I'd beat Hatton. I think it'd be too good for him.
what was your thoughts on his last fight against it was Flint for the area?
I thought it was actually a good a good fight from him. It was better
Yeah.
than his previous ones. Look, these are ones you're going to get better on fighting these guys. Okay, he lost, but I thought it was a lot closer than the scorecards. Uh, the first couple of rounds were close, and then your man started taking over. But it was a good fight. You know, he has improved. Now he's got a new team around him. He might even improve a bit more.
Yeah, because he's with Ben Davison, who's
Yeah, so
one of the best coaches out there.
big time.
Yeah.
So if that is a good fight, I'd happily take that too. Or your man he lost to, I'd fight him too. He's actually fighting for IBO title soon.
Yeah, against Carl Boyd.
Yeah, so
What do you make of Carl Boyd v Jimmy Flint?
I
Joe,
think it's a good fight. I think it's a very good fight.
because Carl's good fighter.
Yeah, both of them are good fighters.
Yeah, I think it's a toss of the coin with that one. Good level fighters. I think Carl's got a Commonwealth silver, I believe,
Yeah,
and then Jimmy, of course, got the area, but they're not. Yeah, they're from different countries, so they can't fight for the the central area when
yeah,
Carl's
yeah.
from Scotland, and don't know what's happening with the Commonwealth silver as different weights, but it's still a good fight and a good belt on the line. So maybe, you know, there's big fights out there for you. You might get winner of that. You might get Hatton. You might, you know, get Kelly. You might get another domestic fight in Ireland. There's massive fights out for you. And do you feel like this is your year? Of course, you've already picked one belt up, and it's just a matter of yeah. Do you feel like this is your sort of breakout year?
Yeah, big time. It's definitely a breakout year. Like I've been back training already. Like I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to heal up and then get back into camp properly and kick on from there.
Yeah, so how long did you have out of the gym? Of course, you give your eye a bit of time to recover. Like how many, well, days or weeks did you have out the gym?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually tried. So I fought on Friday. I tried to go for a run on that Wednesday, and I got to like the corner of my block. I was like, "This is a bad idea." So go home. The following night I tried it again. I was like, this isn't working. Then I actually went on, did a few rounds in the bag. The following day, the Friday it would have been, so it was a week out. I was back training and just taking over nicely then.
So no time for a break, just straight back in sort of thing.
Kind of straight back in, but different training. I'm not killing myself. I mean, I'm back enjoying training, learning things.
So you're still ticking over sort of
Taking
thing.
over, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I know you fought, last month, but when can we expect to see you back out? Maybe, I don't know, August or yeah,
So yeah, the end of August, October, I'm hoping to be back out.
in
So
another title fight, fingers crossed, or
fingers crossed, yeah, whatever comes up. Anybody.
anybody can get it. That's the spirit, mate. Yeah, and before I let you go, as always, I let people, shout out like their manager, their sponsors, their fans, just anyone, supporting you and helping you on your journey at the minute.
I've got I'm telling you now, from where I live here in Shannon, I have the best support in the world. My manager, Ian Grockeren, is an unbelievable manager. My partner, she is sick of me boxing. But I have phenomenal support. I've got where I work, I have a local I run the local boxing club. I have great support from there. So I've constant like the whole of Shannon are behind me. So like I'm hoping eventually I get my homecoming here in Shannon, my own one, instead of
Fingers
fighting
crossed,
on
mate.
instead of fighting on these other guys' homecoming where I get my own one. But like I have the whole of Shannon supporting me and behind me, so I'm actually very grateful for it. So it is very good, and I'm glad I have it.
Have you got a message to your fans?
Guys, keep showing up and keep supporting. I have some crazy fans that come to like every one of my fights so far. I have some people that haven't missed one. I've got guys that sponsor me from day one and still to this day that still sponsor me. I've got the greatest team in the world around me and I'm delighted with it.
And from me, David, thank you for your time and yeah, well done on the win against Tony and yes, mate, and the new. Well done.
Anyway, thank you very much for having me, mate. Look forward to the next one.
Anytime, mate. Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.